Graffiti girl. There was another little girl who came into the library. She was about 7 or 8, and she had a Dork Diaries book. And Dork Diaries is a hugely popular series in the library. Everyone's checking it out. We always have to reshelve it from the back room and go look in the back room for them because they're never on the shelf when kids request them. So she comes up to the front desk and says, "Somebody colored in this book," and she was furious, and she handed me this book, which she had annotated with notes that says, "Note to library, colored in pages 22, 30, 31, 63, and colored by crayons." And she proceeded to bookmark every page that was colored. Someone colored, and the D and the E are switched around on colored, over page 30 and 31 on Dork Diary, and then she says, also 22, also page 63, and also is spelled with a W. I think that's so adorable, and that's exactly what I would have done as a kid. I would have gotten so mad that someone had defaced property that wasn't theirs. I guess that's the goody two-shoes in me. Pop-ups. There's an option in the computer when you open up an item record of an item that allows you to make a note that will pop up when someone checks it in. And I've gotten some pretty weird pop-up messages from books I've checked in. One book in particular was a picture book, and it was covered in fur, brown fur. It was supposed to be like a bear, and then you open it up and you read about the bear, and it was so fuzzy we couldn't even put a label on it. We had to label it on the inside. And so when you scan this book to check it in or out, a message pops up in all caps that says, "Book covered in fur!" Which I think is pretty funny. And then there was another one. I was checking things in from the shipment, so things that were coming in from other libraries to be put on hold for patrons at our library. And I checked this book in, and again in all caps it said, "Blood on page 23. So I was like, well, that's sinister. So I went to page 23, and sure enough, there was a stain on it that very well could have been blood. And I was like, we should not check this out to somebody. But I had to because it was on hold. Sorry, whoever got that book. Wacky, crazy fun! This is a short story, but it really made my day. This woman came into the front desk, and she wanted to check something out. And she looked like the most fun individual because she was just wacky. And she comes up to the front desk, and I'm like, "May I see your library card, please?" And she pulls out her wallet and goes, "Whatcha!" and hands me her library card. Parent signature. There was a group of 2 older adults that came up to the front desk. They were husband and wife, and the husband wanted to get a library card so that he could use the computers. So I'm making him a library card. I hand him the application to fill out. He fills everything out, and he hands it back to me, and he hasn't put anybody in the allow access permission box, which is where you put a name if you want them to be able to use your library card if you're not there. So I just double check before I cross it off, because you have to put something there. So I asked, "Do you want anyone to be able to use your library card besides you?" And he said, yeah, my wife. And I was like, okay. And I hand the application to his wife, and I say, "Can you please print your name right here in this box?" And she goes, "Okay," but she wasn't wearing her glasses, so she pulls out a pen and signs the parent signature at the bottom. Prints her name and then signs the parent signature at the bottom. And I'm like, I think your husband is old enough to get a card on his own. I didn't actually say that, but it was really funny, and I couldn't help but laugh. We talked about how blind we all were, and she tried to read the posters that were behind the desk behind me. What a fun time. 1 minute remaining. There was one day when I was on the children's reference desk, and I was shelving a little bit around the desk, fixing up the children's section, and a boy comes up to me, and he looks shaken, and he says, "My computer locked me off early, and I was doing something." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. Which computer were you on?" He was like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah number computer." And I was like, "Okay, do you want me to make you a new reservation?" And the computers were going to be closing in a few minutes, so he wouldn't have gotten the full reservation, but there wasn't enough time for me to make him a short reservation to finish what he was working on. And he's like, yeah, please make me another one. I was like, "Okay, how early did it log you off? Because they're half-hour reservations." And he was like, "I had a whole minute left." And I was like, "A minute? Really? 1 minute? You want me to make you a new 30-minute reservation for 1 minute?" And I was like, "What were you doing on the computer? Were you doing homework? Do I need to make another reservation for you to do your homework?" And he was like, "No, I was playing a game." And I was like, "I'm sorry, kid. I'm not going to write you a new 30-minute reservation to play your game for 1 minute and then get a bunch of extra free time when you're only allowed 2 times on the computer per day." And he had already been on 2 times. "Sorry, kid. Come back tomorrow." Where are you from? One sunny day, I was again at the front desk at Station 1, and a woman's in line, and I call her over. I say, "I can help you." Next in line, and she comes up to me, and she goes, "Wow, where are you from?" And I say, right here in California. I grew up in California. She's like, what, really? Yes. And she was like, really? Yes. Because you're really white. And usually if you're really white, you're from like somewhere in Europe, like England. You look like you're from England. Are you from England? No, no, I'm from here. Are your parents from England? No, no, I was born in America, sorry. And she was like, oh, because you're really white. Like, really white. And I was like, yes, yes I am. No, but like, really white. Yes, I know. Thanks, lady.